So in my last video, I was talking about spending £15,000 on a Rolex or a Cartier, and here I am now talking about a £225 watch. But the good thing about being a watch addict is I'd like to think I can appreciate watches across the full spectrum, from micro brands right up to the top boys. So here we are. This is a watch, a micro brand, and they're called Saint. So, welcome guys, hope you're well, and this is the Saint automatic watch. And for me, micro brands pose a larger question because every time I get one in on the show, they're always, relatively well made, they look good, and it poses the bigger question, how much do we actually pay for that badge on the front? I'm guilty more than most that I want as high a bigger badge as I can get, whether that's Breitling, Omega, Tudor, Cartier, whatever. But there is a lot of fun and a lot of value to having these watches, and this one's no different. Now, I know what you're thinking, it looks like a Panerai, and there is that to a certain degree, that it's got a Panerai vibe. But when you're a micro brand, try to break into a historic industry, it's really tricky to bring out something that's popular, something that's good looks, and something that's unique. And I think they've got a decent blend here with this watch. It's a really, really nice looking watch. It's a 100-meter water resistant set. It's got sapphire crystal, a display case back, hacking seconds. It's got the Miyota 8215 in it. And this is the good bit, guys. It's got a loomed bezel. The loom's fantastic on it. The bezel action is absolutely fantastic. I've got to say, it's a fantastic loomed bezel. The action is great. And for me, it's a good looking watch. Now the size, 42mm. It's just about wearable for me, but because of the case design, it's got a slim profile and the strap is really good quality. I think it works well. It's only 49.5 lug to lug, which is a good thing. I think anything over 50mm you start to have concerns. 22mm lugs, and it's only 12.7mm thick, so it's a really wearable watch. The leather strap, it's leather underneath with like a canvasing type material over the top of it. Now I'll be honest, I'm not overly keen on the contrast stitching on this strap. I think it's a good quality strap and I think it's comfortable, but the contrast stitching is definitely not for me. I don't particularly like it, but herein lays another problem with the watch. Now security wise, the pin system to get this strap on and off is fantastic because you've got to put a screwdriver in that side and in that side and twist in opposite directions, so there's no way it's going to come off by accident. But because of that, it's an absolute ball ache to change the strap. And I don't like that system. My Braemont's got that system and I'm not a big fan. On the flip side, that this watch looks fantastic and is really comfy on all Nato straps. Now, Nato straps are a different conversation altogether. I think it's a 50-50 Marmite thing. People think they love Natos, they go well on watches. Other people think, why would you put a £10 piece of shit on an expensive watch? So one of the good things about this watch is it's got a clear design. Simple design, clear design, clarity to read the watch, and for me that's a really big thing for me. I do like a simple, plain design. I don't like an overly busy dial, to be honest. My Globemaster is exactly the same, such a clean, crisp, simple dial, simple markers is great. On this watch specifically, it hasn't got applied markers. Now, it is only a £225 watch, so let's not get carried away with complaining. But applied markers just add to that next level of luxury or quality, I feel. But it's not the end of the world because the loom is, oh la la, fantastic. So I think overall the case design and the case build quality, I think it feels like a more luxurious, more quality watch than the price would suggest. And I suppose that poses the wider question of how much Panerai, Rolex, Omega, how much does it cost them to produce a case? But then the markup they're making on those watches and what they can charge because of that badge is mind-boggling. It's intriguing to me. I find it really interesting what the costs to build a luxury watch would be, because this build quality on this Saint watch is more than the £225. So you're definitely getting value for money, I feel. It's a good-looking watch. It's a well-built watch. It's just whether you can get on board with micro brands. It's not everyone's cup of tea, just like Nato straps are. You might think, why would I buy a micro brand? I've never heard of them. I don't want them. I'm not interested. But for me, it's quite an exciting thing that This is why I started a YouTube channel, because I can get to experience more watches. And to be honest, there isn't, well, I have been sent a couple of micro brands that have disappointed me, but you've never seen them on the channel. The ones that are on the channel that I have experienced, that I do talk about, I'm always pleasantly surprised by the quality of them, and this one's no different. I think a display case back on a watch of this price as well is a nice touch. Now the finishing, it's not haute horology or anything like that, but the fact that you can see the movement and you can see the winder on the back, I think it's a good thing. The rotor is quite unique. It helps you see the movement more. So for me, it's just an added touch in a relatively well-priced watch. Now for me, this watch does look like a Panerai. There's no getting away from that. And I actually like the look. But I would never buy a Panerai. I've experienced one. I've reviewed one on the channel relatively recently, only a matter of weeks ago. And I do love the look of a Panerai, but it was big at 44. This is only 42mm, and the sizeability of this. And I get to have that Panerai experience without forking out thousands of pounds. So for me, this has been a good experience. I've really enjoyed this watch. I don't think I'd ever say otherwise. I just wouldn't put a video out there if I didn't like the watch, to be honest. But as always, it's what you guys think about micro brands as a whole, and this watch in particular. Let me know what you think, guys, because ultimately, I don't want to be banging on about how good or bad a watch is on the channel. I want to just share my experience of getting involved with it, looking at it, feeling it, wearing it. That's the main thing. But ultimately, I'm more interested in what you guys think of this watch. Right, guys, let me know what you think. I'll see you in the next one.